It has never been easy to be a Christian in China. But right now, this feels like a community besieged. Theirs is a story of pain and persistence.
He took my husband into prison.
One that the state,
we're pretty aware we're already being watched and followed as well,
makes difficult to tell. We'll take you to various corners of this country, and for the first time to scenes of key church demolitions. We will ask what is happening to Christians in China.
Okay, we're going.
Drive.
We can't tell you exactly where this journey begins. It is safe only to say that we're in Thailand. We've come to a secluded rental house, to a scene that China sees as subversive. What you're looking at is a rare thing to be able to film and document. An underground religion, a persecuted church pushing on. For many thousands of Chinese Christians, this is what Sunday service now looks like.
There are like more than 1,500 people. But most of them, they won't turn on their cameras.
Is it a risk for people to have their cameras on in this sort of situation?
I think so. The ones who turn on their camera, mostly just the elder people, don't really care about that.
Right.
Cherry is a member of Zion Church. It's a Chinese Protestant movement, unsanctioned and unaccepted. It's been years since they were allowed to worship inside a church. Now even this is a target, and she knows they're being watched.
Here, people are talking, "Oh, you're Satan, shut up." They were talking like, be faithful to Chairman Mao, faithful to CCP.
But your belief is that these are being posted by people who are trying to intimidate you, not just harmless members of the public?
Yeah.
But anguish lurks just below the surface. She and her son are grappling with their new reality here. Mourning the home that they fled, the people they were forced to leave. It is a grief with nowhere to turn.
That's in Beijing, a cafeteria. I said, why don't we have a date?
Most of all, she misses her husband. He's a pastor in the Zion Church. But Gao Yingjia was one of 18 church leaders arrested in October.
He was feeling really tired by then.
He's since been charged with fraud. He and others remain in detention.
I think they came around 2 a.m. We heard the hard knock on the door. So me and my husband put on clothes and they came downstairs. They showed a piece of paper and took my husband away.
What was it like?
Yeah, I was really terrified. As a Christian in China, we knew there would be a risk. But you can never say that you are fully prepared for this. We just don't understand why the government want to shut down the church.
Cherry was warned she could be next. To protect her son, she bought a ticket and fled.
How about your son? How is he now, and how has this last few months been for him?
Before we left, my son started to having nightmares. He said, "Mom, will they take you away in prison as well?" He got really frustrated and he cried a lot. "Mom, I really miss Beijing. I miss my home." Actually, in my heart, I said, it's the same for me. I just really want to go home, go back to the normal life. But I knew at the moment we couldn't go back.
The arrests of Zion Church leaders were coordinated and countrywide, seemingly part of a much wider crackdown. Multiple other movements have been targeted too. Raids, arrests and detentions on a scale not seen here for years. There are tens of millions of Christians in China. Officially, they can only worship at churches affiliated and overseen by the state. And while many do, others refuse and are targets. Unregistered movements are forced underground and are known as house churches. They usually want to worship independent from the state and its rules. And that is a problem here. We wanted to understand what this all means for China's Christians. And there's no better place to do this than the province of Zhejiang and its southern city of Wenzhou. This area is sometimes called the Jerusalem of China. By some estimates, 15% of people here are Christian, and it shows. But if China says religious freedom is protected, then what is allowed, and what does that look like?
Looks like they still got their Christmas decorations up.
We started a church with an interesting story.
So the sign says welcome, it's closed up. They've actually still got their Christmas tree up, and we're shooting this at the beginning of June. "12 years ago, this place pushed back. There were huge protests here that fought the removal of its cross from the roof. It's a measure that's sometimes imposed. It was a fight they did not win. Today, it's an example of a registered church that abides by the rules. A national flag, CCTV, and total obedience to the state. Defiance paused, survival prioritized.
座位有1200多个座位吧，一般主日数聚会吧，也就300-400人。
Suli Chan has worked here for nearly 25 years. He gives a sense of a healthy community, but one that knows it treads a fine line.
他那个十字架那个情况，当时那个也是挺严重的，保护那个人大概那天晚上有好几百吧，这一圈全是人，前前后全是人，挺多的，就这个样，那挺害怕的。
Does the church feel like it has to be careful to obey the rules, though? Do you think the government are watching what's happening here?
那你不跟他们这个唱反调就不会的。他经常有来坐在我们后面听到，也经常来正经我，是这个样，也挺好的呢。
But we're interrupted by a timely demonstration of just how closely they're watched.
你好，你好，你好，你好，你好，你好，你怎么样？
这是我们村里面村委书记。
This is the party secretary, he tells me. We've been inside for less than 10 minutes. We have no idea how they knew we were here. The authorities are calling him, and it's time that we left. And this experience was not a one-off. At another church known for its government approval, this time the call takes just a matter of minutes.
刚才他政府里知道你们过来，所以他呢叫这里教会的那个负责人有点怕，他意思说叫你们早点回去。
We've just been here a couple of minutes talking to the pastor. There's a real sense the government know we're here, and they're getting quite nervous and they're asking us to leave.
We visited multiple sites in this area, asked about multiple churches.
Was it very big when it was there? Before, were there more? Were there more churches in the town before? 你怎么样? Oh, no.
Unease about us and our questions was the most common theme that we found.
Around here, there are plenty of places where crosses clearly once stood, plenty trying to keep a low profile. Plenty others were just too anxious to talk. Here, they simply said, these times are too sensitive. Another threat hanging over this place is church demolition. Not common, but it happens. This enormous structure, one prominent example from 2014, authorities said due to building code violations. And here, more recently, the church appears to be part of a whole area cleared. These videos show the moment the Nangang church was pulled down. Believers desperately trying to stop it. Today, there is little sign it was ever there. An old people's home looks over the site. One woman tells us that a church used to be here. Another quickly tells her to be quiet. But next door we do find this, a temporary replacement, we're told. It's unclear when the new church will be built. For now, it feels like a downgrade.
The overriding impression you get from being here and speaking to people in these communities is just this deep sense of nervousness, the feeling that just one step out of line could have really dire consequences. And we know that lots of churches that have been targeted in the recent crackdowns have opted to keep as low a profile as possible. So it is hard to chart just how widespread this has been. But what feels certain is that the space here to operate and worship in a way that is meaningfully independent from the Chinese Communist Party feels to have dramatically narrowed, perhaps gone altogether. So ever present is the state paranoia about any group it does not control.
Xi Jinping has made no secret of his plans to make religion more Chinese. Sinicization is an explicit directive, and tightening regulation closes the gaps. In this recent edict on online religious activities, clergy should love the motherland and uphold the leadership of the Communist Party. Churches must only use platforms that are lawfully established, and they need a specific government license. And some say, most worryingly, they must not disseminate or inculcate religious ideas among minors. Bob Fu lives in America and runs an organization that charts the persecution of Chinese Christians. His assessment of this moment is dire.
I think this is the worst moment since the end of Cultural Revolution. You know, the CCP with 90 million Communist Party members with a nuclear weapon, they are living in paranoia. They would regard any organized social organization structure like as a political threat, and they're determined to eliminate it.
It is quite the allegation, one that China vehemently rejects.
What's your response to the accusation that China is making it increasingly difficult for independent Christian movements to practice their religion?
中国政府依法管理宗教事务，保护公民的宗教信仰自由和正常的宗教活动。我们坚决反对借所谓宗教问题干涉中国内政。
Back in the Wenzhou area, we have one final stop.
So this morning we've taken quite a long drive, and we've done that just to make sure that the authorities here aren't following us, aren't trailing us, and don't know that we're here. And we've done that because we're headed to what we think is going to be quite a contentious site. It's a place where, up until just a few weeks ago, there was a church, and it was a church where the elders were actively standing up to the authorities.
The town of Yayang knows the cost of defying the diktats. This was it in December. The church here reportedly rejected a Chinese flag on its premises. Soon after, its cross was forcibly removed, and wanted posters preceded the arrest of its elders. When we arrive in Yayang, at first it feels very business as usual, but it is not. In no time at all, it becomes clear we're being trailed. It takes us a moment to find it, but this is what they do not want us to see. The site where the church once stood, now flattened.
So the site where this church was taken down is literally just up here. There's lots of police. We're pretty aware we're already being watched and followed as well.
Extreme measures were taken to prevent locals filming what happened here. We were no exception.
Yeah, they're coming up to us now.
Okay.
Let me jump in the back. Drive.
I think we should go, guys, if we can.
Can we go?
Authorities did not respond when we asked why they demolished the church. The response here says plenty.
As we got back in our car, it's now being surrounded by probably half a dozen people, and we're not being allowed to leave.
It is the clearest demonstration of how sensitive this has become. For this family, there is at least some safety abroad. But their ordeal is far from over. China insists that religion here is free. It's a claim that's hard to square with what we have found. While some are happy to worship alongside state wishes, it feels others are at something of a standstill, caught up in a paralysis of fear, control, and clampdown. The incredible might of this state that feels it must be almighty.